Well, Josh, FP1 done a very windy, but I'm pleased to say sun coming out now. Started off as a wet session this morning, and then it seemed to dry out a bit. What is it like out there?
Yeah, it was obviously one big change to the circuit from what we used to previously, but yeah, it was drying as we went round. So managed to get a little bit of the housework done that we needed to do, scrubbing tyres, bits and pieces, doing some system checks, but it wasn't a session for car development and setup, sadly, so I don't think we're quite where we should be, but the circuit itself dries very quickly, it turns out, around here, so that was good. But yeah, it's that new curb at the chicane.
Yes, I was going to ask about that. You're smiling with a sort of look on your face.
I mean, it was probably one of the best corners in the UK. It isn't anymore. It's a bit of a shame. I understand why they had to change it, but yeah, it's we all came here to see cars up on two wheels and jumping over curbs and getting some air time, and don't know how much that is going to be the case this time.
I guess if you get it wrong at the chicane now, that rips a tyre off, or it ruins your suspension, or does some considerable damage.
Oh, we'll let you know when we've checked the car over.
Yeah,
I gave it a go.
Yeah. Over and let me know later.
Yeah, no, I did give it a go in that first session, but yeah, it's like I say, it's not quite the corner it used to be, but time to move on and we'll have to get used to it.
Just explain about the red paint that's appeared on the outside of one of the corners. That's track limits bit, isn't it? You're not allowed to touch that at all, is that right?
I'm not sure, I'm colourblind.
Are you really?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
So yeah,
but you will be in free practice, next free practice session.
Yeah. No, we have got the blue and white painted curb that we can use up to the back of that. After that corner, after that part of the curb, there is a green section which we're not allowed to use, and further on from that there is a red section which we're also not allowed to use. Of course, they are monitoring track limits at specific places, so if you see us taking the mick in certain areas, it's because they're not looking.
I guess the time to test that is in the free practice sessions.
Absolutely, yeah. That's why I've got to check the car over now, because we've I've got a lot of track limits warnings in that one, and I've hit a lot of curbs, so yeah, like I say, it is the time to give it a go, because we need to know exactly the rules that we're working to by the time we come to qualifying.
Just finally, it is really windy here. It was windy here yesterday as well. I suspect it's going to be like this for most of the weekend. How much of an impact does that have on the car?
Well, now we're not jumping through the air at the chicane. No, it does change things a little bit, of course, when you're right on the limit. If you get a gust of wind that blows the car, it just tips you over that edge. It can cause a bit of a moment, but you know, it's the same for everybody. It's a bit of pot luck, but yeah, I think actually when we're stood up in the paddock, we're quite exposed to it. Some areas of the circuit, as you drop down turn one, it's not as bad. You know, even we noticed on a track walk yesterday when it was similar sort of windy conditions, in those areas you could have a conversation with each other, but as soon as you get up onto the back straight, it's very windy again.
Brilliant. Have a really good weekend, Josh.
Cheers.
Thanks.